Good morning, everyone. Guys, are able to hear me?
Good morning.
Good
Yes,
morning.
you are audible.
I am thinking to teach conversions today because that is very important topic. Okay, so I supposed to teach back-to-back order, back-to-back flow it is. So, but the compared to that important topic is conversions. So can I teach that?
Sure.
Sure, sir.
So this is an important topic, guys. Like, please keep aside your WhatsApp and all. Focus at least 1 hour. In the meantime, just wait. These files are important. Okay. Today's topic is conversion. In one line, we can say conversion means converting the old system. Old system means we'll call it as a legacy system. It is. Let's say there is a software Radius. It may be anything. It may be SAP, or it may be CBIL, or any third-party system. Okay, that we don't know. There are n number of third parties data storage softwares. So from third party to Oracle apps, we will get the data. So your duty is loading the data, whichever comes from third party. So we are converting the third party data to the Oracle apps is called as a conversion. Okay, so it is a part of RISE W. So C means here convert. Your syllabus is RISE W only. Reports, Oracle reports, XML publisher reports, Discover reports, or any other reporting method. So I means here interface. C means conversion. E means extension. Extensions means forms, functionalities, those are all. And W means it is workflow it is. So I'm just giving one line definition. Conversion means here converting the third party data to the Oracle apps. But who will give you the data? So sometimes actually, so whoever are the software employees or third party, that is their responsibility. But if you are working in like Oracle applications older version, you only at that time you may need to extract it. So on which basis they will extract the data here is by using web services. Web services are, there are two things here, REST, SOAP. These are all the web services. You should know the background. That's why I'm telling this point. Okay, how they will give you the data. So the data came right here. They will not give you like this in the GIF format. They will keep into your application directory somewhere. So application directory you have already seen, right? Through WinSAP is an application server. So we connected through FTP. There may be any directory like this. So any directory it is, project to project, it will vary. Okay. So the file they will keep into any one of the directory. ఆ మూల ఎవరైనా కూర్చుంటే ఇంటర్నెట్ డిస్టర్బ్ చేయకండి ఓకేనా నాకు ఎవరు వెళ్ళారు సేమ్ ప్రాబ్లం guys are able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just changed the network, that's why I just wanted to cross check. Listen line by line, guys, it's important. So this is an application server here. In this application server, there may be any directory. Usually DBS will create that particular directory. So like this, they will create simply new directory. This is for conversions directory. File name may be anything. Okay. Conversion. Set permissions. 777. Click on OK. So right now I do not have permissions to create here. The DBS are restricted. So, but this is the way they will create. That is not our duty. Now, the first point here is who will give you the files. Clarified? Who will give you the files? Whoever the third party people, that is their own responsibility. If not, then from our end, integration team will be there. Integration team. So integration team is a separate team. Okay, that integration team, what is their duty is they will pick up the data, they will interact with the third party, and they will generate in the form of files here. The file may be here CSV or XLS. See, right now CSV it is. Possible extensions of files here is XLS, CSV, TXT, DAT. I have seen these type of files as of now. Project to project, entity to entity, it will vary. Okay. So if it gets XLS directly, you cannot load through your for loading. Actually, we are using a tool. It is SQL Star Loader. Okay. Star, you no need to mention SQL Loader. It is SQL Loader, which is used to load the data into Oracle apps. So we are getting the data from third party. Here, there is a medium here to load the data. That medium is called as an SQL Loader, UTL file, or else external tables, or else some other methods are there. But these are all most popular methods. Right now, I'm telling only SQL Loader for this example. UTL file we'll see some other day. Okay. Now, XLS, if you use directly, your SQL Loader will not be able to load it. You have to convert as a CSV. Just simply file save as. Your file will be there right here. Save as. You need to go to CSV. It is like this. You have to save. If you get XLS file. So XLS is a limitation. That's why that point I'm like reminding you here. Okay. Now you get a clarity how to load it. Now SQL Loader uses one file. It is that's an control file. It is. And control file will give you bad file, discard file, log file. Okay, three types of files it will give. And the control file will give input file also. We'll deal with the control conversion in the SQL Loader, 5 categories of files. These are all the 5. We'll see all one by one. First, we'll see the control file. Okay. No need to convert. So those it will accept it as only XLS only we have to convert. Or XLSX also we have to convert. Now, first we'll see the control file structure. But before that, what type of the files you got? So I'm just mentioning here steps. It's a 3 steps approach. It's very easy actually. Fully focus. First is what it is, file to certain tables here. The tables you only need to create. This is called as a staging tables. So this is the first step here. File to staging, how you are loading is by using a SQL Loader approach. SQL Loader uses control file it is. Okay. Now, first step here is files. Files we already have. These are files. Supplier is a hierarchy here. Supplier name, site name, and then contact name it is. So supplier will have 3 types of data. Supplier, supplier site, supplier contact. There is a bank also. Bank we are not loading. This is a supplier hierarchy it is. If you suppliers in which module you can see usually you have seen in P2P or O2C suppliers. P2P. From suppliers, what we will do usually? We'll buy the goods or services. Okay. Actually, compared to XML publisher, conversion is only easy. First time you may face difficult, I know. This is the easiest topic compared to all other reporting XML publisher, easily understandable. Compared to cycles also it's easy, I feel. Is that a problem from server end or what it is? Sometimes it happens, right? Without the application, difficult for us. Just few seconds, please.
Class.
Can you please go on mute? Okay. So we are talking about here suppliers. Suppliers will be available in payables. Customers will be available in receivables. That's the fundamental things you need to observe here. Suppliers entry. Let's say I'm creating one supplier. So what are all the minimum things required here while creating a supplier? So that data only. Usually from front end, 1 or 2 suppliers they will create. If there are 2000 suppliers, how they will create? That's why we are preferring this method here. That method name is called as a conversion. It is. If there is a bulk data, it may be 300, 3000. They will ask you what is the volume of data you have loaded. So suppliers 3000, let's say, invoices 1 lakh, sales order 1 lakh, like that you have to say. So for 1 record, 2 records, we no need to use this much program, this much procedure. Straight away you can create by using this front end forms. So whatever we are using this is a from back end we are loading the data. That to use data, not 2 records, 3 records. Okay. If it is 2, 3 or 100 records also, they can easily load here. So create supplier or find out an existing supplier here. Tell me one supplier name, anything. GE Plastics, you have used n number of times. Are there? Yeah. So now suppliers is having a data here. This is called as a master data. Supplier name, supplier number, and then inactive date. Supplier we can make inactive if you don't have an agreement with them, or if you don't need to buy any goods from them, then we can make it inactive by giving this particular date. So from today onwards, we cannot, you should not use this supplier. So this is called as a master data, supplier data. And these are sites. So GE Plastic site, it comes under Vision Operations and it is located in New York City. And these are all shipping method, pay and receipt auto invoice. Like for auto invoice we have used, right? And another one is your terms and conditions, foot on board, country of origin. These are all called as an supplier sites. Supplier is a master, like PO headers, PO lines you have seen, right? Here also supplier is the master and there is a site is the second one. And there is one more point of contact here. Supplier contacts. Supplier contacts are located into address book. Check is there any, because this artwork, right, little changed. Contact directory is there. This is a contact. So this is called as a contact, means like first name, last name, full name, phone number, email address, their phone number, fax number. Okay. So that is called as a point of contacts. And there is a bank also somewhere. Can you check bank one by one here? Banking. Okay. So bank number, bank currency, bank name, and there is other details here. Like if you just expand it, you will come to know. So bank account name, bank number, bank branches. So we'll make a payment to the supplier whenever you buy the goods or services. So in this case, we are loading only 3. We are not loading the banks. In some projects, you may need to load banks also. For banks, usually there is an API is available separately. So later we have loaded. In our project, I got a chance to work on these 3 only. Bank, if you get a chance, you have to call the API. So I'll tell you what is the API and all. APIs, programs, interfaces and all, we have already gone through a responsibility, that is which responsibility can identify interface tables, standard programs and all. I hope I went through this multiple times, right? Any module, all the 282 modules are available here only. Click on search. Then you are talking about financials here, financials, and product name is correct, payables, and your interface type, correct. So if I wanted to know PLSQL API for banks and all, business entity, here you can say bank. Let's see, okay. Bank, can you just check bank statement, bank balance, supplier bank? No, it doesn't form, that's okay. We can't go. So this is for supplier creation API, okay. Banks comes under other module, IBY, that's why it is not showing here. So we can create suppliers through API or open interface, both it is. Right now I am preferring open interface approach. If there is a huge volume of data, if response time is required very quickly, then we can go with the API. API is a package, ready-made package. So right now I'm using open interface approach. So this is called as an API, application program interface. So right now, open interface I'm using. Now, open interface programs we should know here. You are using open interface. Click on go. So for supply related, just check. One is this is for suppliers only. The second one is supplier site. See, hierarchically, you have to load the data. You cannot load the sites without the supplier. The first is supplier, second is sites, then third one is what it is? Correct. That is contacts. Isn't a bank related? Just observe meantime. No, it seems. So overall, three programs required. These are all three ready-made. To create a requisition, what was the program you have seen? In P2P. Yesterday also you have seen, right? Requisition import. In the same way for sales order, what you have seen? Order import, correct? Like that here also, to create a supplier, there are three programs are available here. So these are all called as a standard open interface programs. So by using this, we can load the suppliers. Do you remember supplier base tables? Base tables. No, that is for invoices. So it is AP suppliers. Column no? Okay, AP suppliers, AP. Correct. Supplier sites all. And one more, AP.
Supplier contacts.
Contacts. Let's see contacts all is there or not.
Okay.
See, there is no table, contacts all, correct? So only AP supplier contacts. The base tables are here is 3. So this is a third stage actually. As of now, we have talked about here first stage. First stage is files. As soon as you get a files, you have to load the data into the staging table. That is your responsibility only. Either you can use API or else open interface approach. So in our example, I am using open interface approach, not API. API will take it as a separate example. And the second one is here. The data we have to make sure whatever you are giving. So that is staging tables to interface table. And interface tables also you need to collect from here only. So if you click on this table, program name, this is the interface table. Initially, for any conversion, you have to gather like this only. 1 second, guys. We have to gather the interface tables. There are 3 tables here. Supplier sites. This is for contact, but let me note down anyway. Open. Okay. We have gathered all the informations here. And one more is, while submitting these programs, you may get errors. Okay, that errors we need to identify. So error table, no one given here, but I will tell you from where we need to collect. This is a standard program only, concurrent program. We need to download the RDF. This is the program. Suppliers open interface import this. If you don't know fully, this is a program. These are all RDF reports only, Oracle reports it is. So take this APX UIMP. So this is an Oracle reports error table it is. Now you need to download that through your application server. You already connected to WinSCP. So Oracle application server, database server. There are 2 things here. We need to go to Ora AS server it is. We connected to the server. Vision, file system 1, EBS apps, application, and your module name is EP. Reports US. So in this, like APX UIMP, there is no control F option here. APX UIMP. Directly type it, it will give you. Just go up here. APX UIMP. APXU. Not it. This one, right? This one, correct? So this you need to download. You need to open through builder, report builder. Open an existing report. If I say simply error table, you may not understand. That's why I'm telling you all this procedure. If it is new conversion, how, like where you will search, you should know, right? open this particular report builder. Now go to data model, and here is the place. You can see the query. Okay, these are all standard reports only. You can just check error table here. This is the error table. While loading the suppliers, you may get definitely errors. That error table is AP supplier in rejections it is. This is error table. So how I came to know this error table? See, error table is even it is not available in integrated Java gateway, correct? So to identify the error table, I have downloaded the RDF file through RDF I have opened. Clear? So this is the way you can identify the error table. Now we gathered all the information. Again, I'm repeating, supplier, any conversion, there are two methods to load the data. One method is what it is, API, other method is open interface. API or open interface, whatever it is, you need to go to integrated Java gateway only. It may be a supplier, customer, sales order, purchase order, requisition item, whatever it is. You need to come here only to gather all the information. It is just a 2-3 minute job it is. Now, after that, you need to create staging tables that I'll tell you how to create it. Interface tables you have gathered. This is the first thing. Second is what it is. Standard open interface programs I have gathered. The next one is base tables, error table. So these are all I have gathered. Now, first today I'll be able to finish only first stage. Due to time constraints, I may not explain all this because it will take a lot of time to load the data from staging tables to interface tables. I need to explain more than 1,000 lines code. So it will not happen today. So there is a package required here to load the data into interface tables. So today I can explain you only one stage out of 3 stages. So now files, I'll show you again these 3 files. So these 3 are CSV files. If you get by mistake XLS files, we have to save as a CSV because SQL Loader will not accept other than CSV. Okay, clear. So here for sample, I made only 1 or 2 records, but 1 or 2 records to load, you may need to, you no need to use this much program procedure. Thousands of suppliers, you can say 5,000 suppliers or 10,000 suppliers you have loaded. In the interview and all, you can say more than 10,000 suppliers. So 10,000 data, it will take a lot of time. That's why I'm not using only sample records I have given here, 2 records. And they are not even given the titles here. They're supposed to give titles here. Then only we can easily work. Otherwise, we don't know what is this immediate. We don't know what is the AED. If you are good at like payables and all, then you can easily come to know what is this. If you don't know all this data, so what you have to do, go and create one supplier. Go to payables. Then go to suppliers here, entry. And then after that, we need to create new supplier. Whatever the mandatory data it is asking, then you will come to know the file structure here. Usually they will give data, but in our project, they have not given these titles. So I struggled all this. What is AED? What is this priority? I spent little time and then I came to know this is a vendor ID, this is a name, this is a vendor number, this is a terms, this is a priority, it is currency, payment currency like that. So this how you come to know without the titles is by creating one sample record so that you will come to know. Now, the next step is what it is, staging table. You need to create the staging table as per the file structure. Okay. So usually to create a staging table, the base will be an interface table only. Take this interface table name and then find out the description of it. You can go to script here. Here is the place. table description we have to check. It's a view actually. This one. F4. Script. Here is the place. Script. Table, how they created. They simply create table name only, nothing else. But column names I am talking about here. This is a, see, here more than 150 columns are there. We don't require all this, right? Did you receive these many columns data in Excel sheet? No. So taking all these columns, it will create unnecessary confusion. But still, I'll tell you how to prepare a table script. Overall, 167 columns are there. We don't need to take for your table these many columns. So here, staging table, always you have to keep the naming convention STZ, or you can type also staging, but usually people will prefer here taking STZ, staging table name. This is the schema name, app schema, AP schema it is. Right now you are into app schema. For every module, one schema will be there. If you mention AP schema, you cannot access this table from PO schema. From order management schema, you cannot access. But if it is app schema, means it is a centralized schema, you can access any table, any module. Apps is the central schema it is. Okay. So you don't need to put AP here, not required. Create table name. Then based on the Excel sheet only, you have to create a columns. So first is usually IDs, vendor interface. So definitely nowadays they are giving columns. Okay, in some project they may not give, but at that time you may need to struggle. Okay. First column is what is ID. This ID, interface ID. And one more is, these are all called as a who columns. For every table, who columns are mandatory to maintain the history. So do you remember who columns? What are they? Right. Those are all who columns. Creation date. These are all the three. Without the who columns, you cannot track who has modified. If you are creating a new tables, definitely who columns are mandatory. These 5 are the who columns. You take any table, standard tables, definitely who columns will be there. Tell me one table, any table. Any table. OE. F4. Just check who columns, whether they are right. Created by, creation date, who columns are there? Any other table can you mention? Right, OE lines. There are many dates, promise date, request date, but definitely these dates are important. That is creation date. Created by, not only 2. So I can tell you all other last updated by, last update date, last update login. 5 who columns are mandatory. Those are all called as a who has modified, who has created. This is the terminology, who columns. Okay. Now go to Excel sheet. This is over. Now second one is, this is a vendor name and vendor alternative name it is, and this is a vendor number. 3 fields I am telling. You need to prepare on your own like this only. It is copy paste only, but you have to spend time on this. I told you, right? Vendor name, vendor alternative name, vendor number. Copy all this. Then next. This is called as a terms it is. Term, just check where it is. ID. No, we are not taking ID, right? It's not an ID, right? It's a name, term name. So you have to take term name. Copy paste only, right? Next, what it is? This is a 99 is a payment priority. Check payment priority. What else? Currencies. Invoice currency, payment currency. Check invoice currency, payment currency. Where are they? That's it. Yeah. Table script is ready now. The rest of the columns we don't require at all. Whatever the columns are there, these are all not required for us. There are more than 150 columns. We don't require at all. Simply, you can take here few whatever the columns came from a staging. I mean to CSV file. That columns only in an order we have to take. Along with that, additional columns. Those are all what are they? Correct. Who columns. These are all called as who columns. Now, like we'll load repetitively, right? Today, tomorrow, day after. At that time, on which request we got error. So request ID is also important. Request ID in the sense like the moment we submit a program, it will generate one request ID, right? For every concurrent program, one request ID will be there. Yeah, this request ID are talking about. If you load 10 times request IDs we can see. Okay, so that's called as a request ID number. What else? Now on which column we got error? That's called the error flag. And one more is error message. That's it. For every table, it has 3 parts. If you are creating a new staging table, the extension must be staging. And the next thing is columns coming from an Excel file. Then request ID, error flag, error message, and who columns. That's it. This is mandatory. For every conversion, you need to follow the same strategy. Okay. Now let's say I already prepared a file here, staging script, everything like this. This is a script. Copy. There are some extra columns in this. Terms ID is there. Attribute 1 I have taken. Error flag, status flag, error message, who columns. These are all I have taken. So this staging table file is ready here. Go to stage XX supply staging have taken. So control enter. Missing expression. The semicolon is not required for code. Or extra attribute maybe. So name is already used by an existing object. Someone has created. So I am just taking like let's say IT mentor. I'm taking like this. In your case, you keep your name here. Okay. So staging table is also ready. File is ready with us. Next is staging table also we only made. So how we prepared staging table? Tell me. How we prepared? On which basis? CSV and one more is that is script of interface table. So it's a combination you have to observe. This is called as a column mapping. So you cannot load wrong columns. Okay. CSV file you have to observe as well as interface table script also we have to observe and copy paste and prepare a staging table. It is clear. Now what else is pending here? Which tool you are going to use here? SQL Loader. SQL Loader uses which file? Control file. So control file you have to prepare. Control file, let me show you here. These are all you need to just type in Notepad only or Notepad++. This is a file, this header and all you have to which client you work, towards your name, then like what it will do. These are all like description is required. Otherwise, other people cannot come, they cannot see all this. They cannot go, what is this? No, they will see only if other programmer in your company or in your team opens, they should understand by reading this. So you have to make a habit here. Even in the practice room also, you need to type all this and prepare description of your file. So blindly you should not put simply notepad. No. Now read here. Load, we are loading. These are all syntaxes of control file. We are loading data in file. So where is your file? Your file is available in the local machine, but usually you have to keep into application server. So I'll tell you. So that path may be a dynamic path. That's why I kept here ampersand here. Ampersand acts as a parameter. Ampersand acts as a parameter here. Okay. So we are loading a data which is available in the file. The file is mentioned in application server, and we are appending it to a table. Why we are appending is the table is already having a data. We will load repetitively. That's why append is required. If not append, we may need to use insert, and we may need to use truncate or replace. Only these are all like available keywords in the control file. If you want to use insert, the table must be empty. Only one time you can use. If table is having a single record, then insert will not work. We have to use only append here. And truncate, what it will do, it will remove all the data and it gets committed automatically. It will make the table empty. That's called as a truncate. Replace means any records are there similar, it will overwrite. So any one you have to use, not all. So again, I'm telling, tell me append for what it is. In the name itself, it is saying insert, table must be empty. Third one, it will remove all the data, existing data, it will allow for fresh loading, and replace, overwrite. Okay, so I am taking append only, guys, right now. Then into table, your table name. So usually you will create your own table after creating, but you will forget to use here in the control file. If you don't use control file, then you will not be able to load it. Then fields terminated by. Fields, how these fields are terminated. If you open with the notepad, how the fields are there. First field terminated. How it is terminated? By using a comma. But in some cases, you can say tilde symbol, tilde it is. In some cases, it is a pipe symbol, pipe separated. First column, then pipe, second column, like that it is. It is based on, see, you may have a number of third parties. We don't know what the separator they have used. Every time you cannot get comma. Okay, that's called as a fields terminated by. And optionally enclosed by. If any bigger description, we can see optionally enclosed by. And trailing null cost means at the ending, there shouldn't be a null value. Okay, once null reaches, then it will go to the next column. So these three are common for every control file. Just copy and paste it. Without this, it is difficult for us to proceed. Now, these are all the columns of your table name. So if I ask you what is the structure of control file, you have to say all this. You have to say load data in file, append into table, continuously out. Columns not required. So are you okay with the syntax? I'm just saving this. Now I need to keep this file into application server into bin directory. If it is a report, you have to keep in report. So we have so many files. If it is SQL. If it is Unix, you have to go with the bin directory. If it is control file, also bin directory only. So bin directory will have an existing control files. So I'm keeping control file here. This file, right? I'm just following my own naming convention, guys. CTL is, you don't need to keep capital letter. You have to make sure again before moving whether you use really your table or some other table. Many people are wasting time in the conversions. You have to be careful at every step. Now keep this file. Where is your file? ITM, this, right? And you will have to give rights here, 777 rights, like how you given for RDF, correct? So 777 means what it is? Executable, correct. So take this file. See all the files, if you look at here, CTL small letters, correct? But your file is capital, it's not correct. Definitely you have to use small letters only. You need to observe how they followed all this. This by mistake mentioned as a capital CTL, it's not correct. Now, like registration steps we need to follow. Here is the place. Concurrent program registration steps, you know very well, right? Registration steps. So first step is what it is, executable, right? Second step, XML registration, same. Concurrent program.
Attached.
Then speed attached to. Then after that, right, same steps, right? Only method is changed. In the executable only method will change. Go to executable now. Tell me the navigations. System administrator, concurrent program, executable. So we have so many methods as of. How many methods you have used? What are they? Yeah, that you have used. One more. Correct. Java concurrent program. Java concurrent program XGODDX. In our case, right now we have to use SQL Loader or SQL Loader. Okay. Execution file name. File name is your file which you moved already into the server. So server, I'll just keep in the bin only at this moment, but you don't need to keep in bin. There may be any other directory. Okay. So now keep this input file here. This is the file. Okay. Along with the extension you have to take. So this file name is your control file only. This one. Extension not required. Your save, define. See, I'm not following the, definitely here also you have to follow. First your client name and your conversion name, conversion on supplier loader. That's enough. It has three parts, right? Client name and rise W number. And payables. Here we should not use XML and all, not required. Parameters. Your control file is having a parameter, right? Which parameter is? Just one only. One means one parameter. So what is that parameter name? File path. We have to give file, right? As an input file. It's a required parameter. You want to pass always the same directory. Have to keep this. Save. Request group name. Security responsibility request. Group name we already identified multiple times. Okay. Now go to payables. That's it. But file name is not there. you will have to mention an Excel file along with the extension. That's it. Now that file data we are loading into table. So before submitting, let's check the table. We are newly loading, so there will not be data here. Okay. Now go here, submit, file. So this is the way we can finish the first stage. Second stage, by second stage, you will have to learn what is cursor, what is exception, procedure, trigger. These are all you have to learn. Go through today's syntaxes in YouTube or somewhere. At least syntaxes. If you want, I can type here. Cursor. And its types. Implicit, explicit. Ref cursor. And then procedure. And its parameter in, out, in, out. Exception. Okay, exception also. There are few types like standard exceptions, user defined, pragma. And you'll have to understand here what is pragma, autonomous transaction. Okay, triggers not required tomorrow, and function also you need to learn. These points, if you learn, you can easily understand the tomorrow's class. So at least night you have to go through all this. Watch 1 or 2 videos, that's enough. Meantime, just check the output. It's warning. Warning, you have to observe what went wrong. We can check here, rejected. Record 1 is rejected because it has invalid number. I wantedly kept here in the file. The first one is, it's not a number, it's a date. This is a bad record. Bad format. So number format we supposed to enter here, but the data came in the form of data, like date. So bad file, where can you see here is, there is a path here itself. Can you see here, bad file? This is a bad. Now you got it. Bad file. You go through this particular path in the application server. Control O, which is used to open directory. You need to observe what is there in the bad. Okay. 076104002. Last 402, observe where it is. Somewhere here you can check. This one, is that correct? And open here itself with the notepad, preferably, or WordPad also fine. So this is bad record. Bad record path only it has given here. So that bad file itself we downloaded. Not only one record, you may get thousands of records also error sometimes. First time. Okay. Discard file will talk in other conversion. Conditionally, we can reject some records. Those are all called as a discarded. Bad is because of special characters or any data type mismatches. We can see bad file it is. And one row successfully loaded, one row not loaded due to data errors. So just check whether that one row is loaded or not. It's loaded. So through control file, what we are doing? We are loading Excel file data, I'm into CSV file data into tables. Okay, whatever the data we get from customer, I mean your third party system, it may be 1 lakh records also. We have to keep into staging table only. After that, we'll start doing validation whether it's correct or not. So directly we cannot load into base tables. So before loading into the base tables, we have to do a double filtration. One is staging table at this particular level, we'll do some filtering. And second one is here, the good filtering will happen here. Data filtration means the data, whether it is suitable to our Oracle apps or not, we have to identify. Again, I'm telling conversion is what it is. It's a one-time process. We are loading third-party data to the Oracle apps, and it's a three-phase approach: file to staging, then staging to interface, interface to base. So this is a interface to base it is. So today I talked about only one stage, and that only one step, single step it is. File to staging we have loaded. If I ask you what is the structure of control file, we'll be able to tell. If not, just go through once here. The structure is what it is. We are loading the data which is available in a file and we are appending it into the table. And these are all the three common things here. While creating a staging table, we have to take care of three things: column mappings, then who columns, and then error flag error messages. So tomorrow we'll get a good clarity. We'll finish that supplier. If you're okay, we can have a class in the evening also. I'm okay. Guys, any doubts before closing session? Online?